welcome back to the show. And today we've got good news for you, just like every other day. But today feels special because we're talking about something of our very own, something that belongs to us, our own property, the 3Music Awards, which is slated happening very soon, and already works have kicked off in the background. And all the various teams are gathering enough data and, of course, doing the necessary things to make sure that when the nominations are put out, the controversy definitely will kick off, and the conversation, the very interesting conversations will also happen. But the big highlights will be the night itself, where it's happening, when it's happening, where you will be, and who picks up the big award of the night. But if you ask me, it's even no more about the artist of the year. It's about the opening act, because it's going to be, well, I'm going to speak as if I were not working here. It's going to be one big job for the team to pull off, to be able to beat that opening act where Black Hole's video has gone viral, which we just talked about in our trending live. But let me just go to Olele real quick. How many views did he gather off, or version did he gather off TikTok with the water? I don't know if you have that statistics with regards to Blacksherif's.
Let me pull it up again.
Well, I'm told about 861,000 videos.
I was hoping it would do it more.
A million.
I was hoping it would do more.
Camido, that means Camido beat it, right?
Yeah.
With about 1.7 you mentioned.
Yeah, Sugar Cane was big.
Very big.
Sugar Cane was big.
Very
but
big.
Of course, they say these days we don't have to use the TikToks and the likes to.
Yes.
To
I'm disappointed though. I'm disappointed in the production team that did the. Do you know why? Because there was one video that was supposed to show that didn't show, and I don't understand why you guys did that. I mean, that's so unfair to the video community, the viewers community of Ghana.
I hope it's not on God.
They didn't do well. You should have put that video in, because Sheena Gasset's video was the reason why the 3Music team got the idea to do the water.
Jesus Christ.
Whose video?
Every one that came after the viral video was the reason why the 3Music team did the video. Do you understand it?
No, who's on? Whose video is that?
She's called. Her name is Sheena Gatbell. That's the name that's on TikTok.
There's this lady with
the
big butt.
behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't even know the lyrics to the song.
Yes.
She didn't know the lyrics of the song. She just went to stand in front of.
I think she was the highlight.
The activator of the song.
But thank God we have RickyTenneson here,
Mr. Tenneson.
Yes, to give us more insights into that.
Mr. Tenneson is in the building.
Let me ask. Powder. You understand?
Today we will deal with him in the studio, and I want the production team.
I need an in-ear.
I need the production team to join us in dealing with him. Look at how surreal he is.
I'm deciding how to deal with him.
Gentlemen,
I the watcher. I want Jay. I want.
This is a gentleman
This
behind.
is the gentleman that has been speaking into our ear every time.
That's disturbing. Not speaking. You're making it. The guy's been disturbing us. When we are trying to do the show.
Chief producer.
This is the main disturbance. How are you? Welcome to Culture Daily.
Yes.
Last question.
Welcome to Culture Daily. This is the Culture Squad. This is where we do the show.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Introducing yourself
I think
to people.
you guys look good on TV.
Oh, really?
Making you stars.
Oh, really? Well done.
Yes.
Well done, Jay. Please.
But we're told that when you're in the production, you have another voice. I
was just even going to tell you to off his mic, so that we don't have to deal with the low voice. Probably at all.
Today, I just wanted to ask about the making of that idea of the pour the water. I mean, not probably single out the person but the idea, but I want to understand the conversation through
the big idea
on you guys daring yourself to pour water on the gentleman on stage as an opening act, destroying the microphone that you used. Branded 3Music, and who paid for the microphone?
Well, it was from an idea we actually got.
Please speak into the mic. Please.
The clap back today will be crazy on the show today.
Let's show him how we do it. Near the mic small. And then let your voice come out.
The revolution will be televised.
Doing this for long.
Yeah. So that's why I'm shocked. You should know better.
So like I was saying, before this gentleman rudely disrupted me.
The name is Serial, Sport Direct. If you were watching from the beginning, like you would have seen it. Yeah. No, like if you didn't know me, you would have known from Sport Direct. So you don't watch the show. You don't watch Culture Daily. You just came for this segment.
This is typical Ricky.
Please, just before you answer the question, Olele, please. I have two tweets for you.
Yes.
Okay.
The first one says, "Hey
Jay,
Jay,
start by saying that you'll be mocking
please, Olele, tell Olele to unblock me here." Then the second one from Bad Mom Kojo Folktale. The second one, he says, I miss him so bad. Please tell him I'm sorry.
And Jay Foley went to laugh. Instead of pleading on your behalf, he's laughing.
Peace of mind.
Before
and I also have one here from Stella.
He's lying.
Stella Michelle.
You can't mention the name.
You blocked me after all that we
did. I've seen it.
You've seen it
after all that we did in the night. So I will tell my mother.
Guys, do you know we are alive?
About it.
Do you know we are alive? Do you know we are not on a break?
I mean, you see some entered.
I'm supposed to do an LPM for
I wasn't able to get it. The pharmacy was. What?
So anyway, I don't know. It's more than matter. All for Olele.
The Twitter is hot this morning.
Please give him some fiesta.
So Olele, please, you have to work on that. Whilst you're thinking about about that, please, we have the performance on the screen now. Ricky will tell us more about it before we jump into
the rain effect.
The 2023 3Music Awards. So let's put the video back on the screens now.
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugarcane sweet, but everybody sweet out. Hey, hey, hey. Someone on me, sweet, nigga, ginger. Hey, okay, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know what trouble out. The game is straight for the hustler. Follow away, text the follow out. I can get for me coming, I am so my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know. Remember you know what trouble out. The game is straight for the hustler. Follow away, text the follow out. I can get for me coming, I am so my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I'm there with you. Love to you guys so much. Long way.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby. Everybody say I demand, but I don't mind. I'm gonna dance for you, my baby. Shake for you, my baby. Wine for you, my baby. Hey, me and you all the time. Dance for you, my baby.
I think it seems like a celebration, but this is a motivation for me to come back stronger. Younger kid.
With you, but you know they get enough time for me. I wanna live with you. I get it easy why I can't let. See, you never lose to you. Hey man, them so fat. Oh, can you never lose to you? Listen man, them so fat to find your love.
This award goes to my team. I appreciate you guys so much. It's imperative to me that I give and dedicate this award to my team. Shouts to you, man. Love.
May I live on the mountain waiting for so long. You know how to do the dance, let's go.
Well, those were highlights from the 3Music Awards 2022. It was spectacular, beautiful visuals, regardless the show starting late because of major technical hitches, but we didn't look at that. It was still about the experience, and we know you who watched and those who came had the best music awards experience, probably hands down ever. Quote me on that. But let me go back to Ricky. You were giving us insights into, let's just start off with that awards, because I mean that is one of the big takeoffs that people took off from the award show.
Awards.
You were saying?
Yeah, so I was saying, so a lot of the times before the main event, we do a lot of brainstorming sessions. We try to figure out what we intend to do, the kind of experience we want to create. So we're looking around trying to find dope ideas, and this was one of the major ideas that came up. So we decided to execute it. It was not going to be easy. We began to speak to technical people, experts, those who can actually create that experience for us to achieve what we intended to. So the likes of Tometi was engaged, Frankie, Step, Eddie, myself, the whole team. We began to have various conversations and then question ourselves on how is it going to be possible, because there was
were there any banters, arguments around impossibilities?
Of course, because one of the key things that I think Step and Frankie raised was
Frankie is just for the
sound our logistics are the one who provides us not just sound, a light, so Frank Kwachi, so he actually was asking, as well as Step, that once he's performing and you expect raindrops to fall, it's definitely going to touch the mics, or they are going to fall on the mics. Now the next thing is, how are you going to still get him not to get like shocked? Or
I was going to ask about the hazards.
Not getting shocked from the water pouring on the microphones and looking at all those
cables
around and all of that. So those were conversations that now we also began to have, because for us, we wanted to make it happen. So anything else that would prevent it from happening, we needed to get it out of the way, because rains were supposed to come down on the night. So that conversation was had. And then another thing also Steve was also mentioning from a filming point of view was, because it is rains, once the water pours on the stage was going to get wet, and filming also was going to be a problem, because it means you are going to capture a set or a stage with a lot of water on it. So then we went to Tometi. These are the challenges, or these are the key things that we've realized. How is that going to happen? So then he also went into his thinking cap. Began to,
how did Blacko take this when you guys told him that, my guy, we are going to wash you down, take a second bath?
Blacko was prepared for this. He was excited. Honestly, the rain never poured on him until this moment. So he only knew, okay, when he does A, B, C, D, rains were going to drop and all of that. But he never had the opportunity, even though we did dry runs and all of that, he never had an opportunity to feel the raindrops on him. So obviously, he himself felt a certain, energy, a certain type of way when the rains came down. And if you realize, after that experience, his performance in the other songs, which was the second sermon, and there was so much fire.
I know, right? Water and fire.
Yeah.
I realized that his outfits, was it especially, was he supposed to wear something that was, because it looked like something tight, swim like, as athletic like, waterproof like,
and all forms. It all contributes to the art of creating performances, because if you know what you want to create, and costuming, because we knew what we wanted to create and the kind of effect we wanted to have, then now we got into costuming. So to be honest, 3Music Awards actually one way or the other introduced the concept of costuming for artists. Why? Because we script a lot of the performances before, so it is away from Charlie, Jay Foley, I book you, Sarko, I book you, come perform. So you are performing this song and that, and come on stage. No, because there's a whole thought process. There's a whole plan on what we want to achieve from filming, from light design and all of that. We are able to determine that, okay, let's get a stylist and let him go through the concept of what we want to achieve, and then ask them to create or give us styling that fits it, apart from Jay Foley and Ashoko.
We will be appreciating a bit more, and also talking a bit more about this. I want to find out about the it just slipped my mind for a split second. Okay, so a lot of people were claiming ownership of the the concept of the rain. I don't know if you, I mean, because you also had on Twitter, people just came hard at 3Music, talking about the fact that you guys are not the first to do this and all that.
We never said.
How did you digest that information?
So before the performance, we never wrote on the screen that this has never been done before. So we didn't. It wasn't a big deal, and you cannot reinvent the wheel. The only thing is to, more or less try to do something that Jay Foley has done, but with a different twist to it, or with a different, approach to it. So for us, it wasn't really a big deal because, of course, I think this UK rapper, the Ghanaian, Stormzy. Yes. I think Stormzy has also tried something like that before, but his was also different.
Why do you keep leading Sonny Badu, who claims that he's the
I
first to have
haven't seen
done
it,
it?
so I don't. He's only claiming. I
Sonny
never
has
saw,
done it.
Sonny has
I never
done
saw
it.
the video.
His rain.
Wearing your presence
in a music video.
Let it rain.
Let it rain.
Yeah, he has
in a music video.
No,
he
said
in the performance.
Rain on the performance or something like that.
I think he didn't
was a
actually
music
state,
video.
He didn't actually state exactly what he did. He only said that he was the first to have done it.
Yeah.
Okay, so is 3Music the first to have done it for a live performance?
As far as I'm concerned,
yes.
Having lived in Ghana all my life,
yes.
From where I sit,
yes.
My personal point of view,
yes, blocking a few other people who are leading for Messi.
Who are this peace of mind?
For me,
yeah.
This is the first time I've seen.
It's the first.
Yes, the rain effects.
Good. Now I'm deliberately getting Ricky to this point because I want to talk about the thought process of creating the awards, and having to be able to break its own record in terms of the experience, at each year. And that's what I want us to talk about, how much work goes in there, because maybe what people need to understand and appreciate from that point, that point of view. Before I even do that, let's now talk about the idea of the 3 stages. And also what went into it, because it's the first time that you've had this number of stages, create this experience at a music award show here in Ghana.
Right.
3 stages, 1 auditorium. What were you hoping to achieve?
4 stages actually.
4 stages?
Yes, so there was 1 stage outside for the pre-show.
Okay.
Where the likes of Herman Suede, Young Dems and Rhea Boss performed. So the show started from there. The show started from the pre-show where MzGee, who did you do that with?
Jackie, Lebanon, and what's his name? Oh, the only guy amongst us, Jackie's partner on Expressive. King. Bliss King. Bliss joined us.
So we wanted to first and foremost begin with an intimate, event where away from the red carpet where what are you wearing, we wanted to create something more different.
What are you trying to tell us?
No, but
we
still did.
I'm wearing clothes.
Yeah, we still did. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing myself.
So it's not like what are we wearing? No, they actually do. Who are you wearing?
I am wearing myself.
What are you wearing?
Who
are you wearing?
Skin by me.
Exactly. Who are you wearing? Skin by him.
Skin by me.
So I think we wanted to just move that experience away from who or what are you, like she's saying, who are you wearing? So to other elements, performances, other engagements, so we introduced that. And because we wanted to also do some performances, that was the first stage that was, introduced to the public. So you get to see the first performances. And also the big idea for that is also to use that as an opportunity to introduce a lot of, young stars. So on that stage, you'd see very, very, very promising talent.
Which I have a controversial question to throw to 3Music, that why should these, and I think we've had that conversation before
opening
here,
acts.
Why should these be given minor stages, early hours, to T's crowd?
It's not early hours.
T's crowd, and then the main stage, the big 3 stages in there are given to the Black Holes to pour water on them. Herman Sway could have gotten water poured on him.
No, but Jay,
I'm pushing Ricky's level because
today I'm not going to hold brief.
Yeah, don't hold brief.
I'm not holding brief, but
Sierra and I have decided to sign an agreement for this.
But even if you look at the
BETs
and the Grammys, some of the biggest stars or breakout stars actually have different days to perform on different stages. Before the main night. So I mean, at the time,
because
from where I sat,
if this show is global, which it is, but I mean a global attention.
Yes.
And we put like how it is said that the BET Award gives a private stage.
But now they've changed
that whole isn't that the same feeling that we're going to get?
So the private
off
stage
this one?
was for awarding in which, by then I understand at that time Afrobeat or African music was not.
No,
normal. It was.
I hope the founder is watching. Sadiq Abdullah, good morning, my brother.
Yeah.
I hope you're watching this very show. I think I should call him to tuning.
Not African music at then had not taken center stage. It was now growing, so they were also trying, and that's how it works. They were also trying to find a way to gradually introduce, the sound to the award scheme. So the backstage opportunity to give awards and all of that was good until, we took advantage of that and grew it to that end. But, speaking of the underground stage, like Cyril will call it, or giving it the people the platform to perform.
I thought it was called the pre-show.
Yeah, the pre-show.
So but calling the underground.
I actually want to explain the pre-show concept. So originally, it was even supposed to be for some of the main acts. But again, how our artists sometimes react or even foresee projects like this will force you to now rethink. Because beginning of the show, what we wanted to do with the pre-show was supposed to be another crazy performance or experience with Sefa, Mr. Drew, and I think someone else. And if I'm even supposed to spill it, we also had a conversation of the FBF performance that actually went to that Mr. Drew used for the VGMAs. It was something that we had discussed with him. It was their plan, and it was something we had discussed with them to actually perform or do for the pre-show. But that's how come sometimes these things happen. They felt the pre-show again was a pre-show. They wanted the bigger stage. So now, when you're beginning to create different experiences to benefit everybody, sometimes certain stakeholders within the same industry or within the fraternity may begin to frustrate you, and you may have to think. You remember when Sadiq also said the Blacksherif performance was supposed to be for some other artist. But when you realize that this artist is beginning or is becoming difficult to engage and collaborate, you have to think.
Because I'm imagining if you had the likes of maybe I didn't say Kiddy was difficult or anybody, Mona for real or Kiddy do that intimate that show at that point with the pre-show. I can imagine how people would go okay, we've never thought about this before, but this is actually because it's an equal stage. Regardless of the time that you perform, it's an equal stage. You performed at the 3Music Awards. That's how it's supposed to work.
It even happens if you check the BETs also have a similar thing where the likes of Nas, Leo Nas, they actually even begin the show hours before the main stage is even introduced. And for whatever reason, they don't have a problem with it. They don't say, I want to be on the main stage, as we call it. Once they are, like you said, once they have performed, because when it goes into the records, when they are listing the people who performed at the maybe 8th Grammys, they don't say this person performed first or last. You are part of the performance for the Grammys, and that's it.
What has been 3Music Awards' biggest, block to carry in pulling off the awards from time memorial?
Funding has been the biggest, of course. But
somehow, some way, it still happens.
Yes, because it must happen.
It is possible.
Exactly. Because it must.
Else the pit.
What then brings me to is the relationship between, and I'm asking these questions as if I were not here.
Right.
The relationship between corporate, the financier, the people who, as we expect them to be able to see the vision of things like this, and as opposed to the story that 3Music is telling. Is it that we are running on parallel ground, so we don't ever cross, or the brand doesn't ever, corporate doesn't want to put, because we ask these questions to musicians that, why do they think that, people don't put their monies into them, and they keep saying that, Ghanaians are some way, in Nigeria, they'll get some big man to put money in there. What is the conversation around funding of music awards, such a huge platform like this?
Well, Jay, it's not just music awards. We are still struggling to find very tough, or I'm being very careful of my words, because
work is in progress.
Exactly. Managers who understand, or who see the bigger picture. Because often, like in the Nigerian market, a lot of them actually understand how much important it is to make investment in the creative art space. So it's not just about music awards, but seeing an opportunity in the creative art space and investing in them. If you look at the Big Brother Nigeria, project like this, several brands understand, and probably maybe it is also a concept of the promoters or stakeholders within our industry also not pitching right. Maybe we haven't been able to understand the concept of building a proper business plan to make sense to maybe corporate Ghana, because I sometimes don't understand it. We have conversations with our Nigerian, colleagues who are in the same space, who we know are actually doing better than in terms of even events, because first it was music. We're doing way better than Nigeria in terms of music. They found it right and they took over. Now, when it comes to events, the last time I think one man came here. No, I think at the Appreciate event, the man who came from South Africa or Kenya, when he spoke, he said he's amazed at the standard of event production that's in Ghana, because he's been here for like 2 days, and everywhere he's gone and every event he's been at, the standard is up there.
I think we've beat, they have this place, Echo House or Echo Stadium or Echo Venue or something.
Oh, Echo Hotel.
Echo Hotel. Yeah, and now we have taken experience outside our conference centers, and creating new experiences outside. And that's challenging. Okay, Ricky, please. Now, probably with the support of Olele, we should now go into last year's the nominations, and the award winners. Right. Something that we have to revisit, because we are getting into a new one this year, and then we can use that to make projections for this year, as well as songs that have been released. We don't delve too much into work being done for this year. Of course, we have to tease you with it, but
but I want to just chip in something in regards to the pre-show. I think that it is a plus for any artist who gets to perform on the pre-show. You have a crowd already standing. They don't have a seat, so you don't have to beg them to see that kind of thing. You don't have to beg them to get up to dance. They are standing, knowing that the camera is also on them directly, so they are already energized, fired up, and all of that. And then the reaction you get, from them is also what also gives you that fire as an artist. So for me, I think it was a plus for all of those people who mounted the stage. If they had done the main stage, I'm not sure they will get that vibe they got from the people, because you're already standing. What are you standing doing? Looking. You're standing, you want to shake, and they had things. Well, look at the reaction you're getting from the people there. People with their mobile phones. So you already have a crowd singing along, and I think it was a plus for anybody who took advantage of that stage.
But what's the guy doing?
So this guy came from the crowd and joined. He came from the crowd.
Nice one.
He had an opportunity. He just seized the moment,
And you see, Jay, one thing we also need to sometimes have conversations on is artists, especially, beginning to understand that there are certain experiences that are created for TV. Beyond all that you want to do, certain experiences are created mainly for TV. So if you understand that this is a television production, it's not about the people in there. It's not. It's just the fact that you understand the concept and the direction. But it's difficult, for you to even go to an artist and tell him, this is what I'm producing for an award event this year, and this is what I want. These are the songs I want you to perform, and these are the order in which I want you to perform. And that's why sometimes it's easier working with younger artists, because they are hungry and they want the opportunity. And once you have conversations with them, they understand. But it's difficult for the mainstream artist, and that's one thing that worked with us with Blacko. Kweku the Traveler was unreleased. It was not released.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But he played a couple of songs to us so he actually came to see us, on projects that he wanted to release. It was not even about the awards. But, Charlie, this is what we have. We intend to do this year. We want to. So the song, once we heard it, it was not even one of the songs that, quote unquote, they were really, really looking forward to. But we're like, nah, we want you to do this song. this is the thought process. We have this concept. We have A, B, C, D, and this is how we want to achieve it. Because he believed in the production team, he left it to us. He was like, but if it was a mainstream artist, there's a high possibility he will say, Charlie, I no release the song. As I no release the song there, I no go fit perform am. Or he tell you that I have some other song for there where that be what I want make you make a perform. Either that, and often because you are not paying them their full commercial fees, it is more or less like do what I want to do as an artist, or forget it. You know, so it becomes very, 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 very challenging. So I think, all in all, we should begin to also get into the concept of this is produced for TV. That's why we watch a lot of shows outside, and we are excited about it. Even the audience, the kind of things they see, and all of that. It is scripted. Why? Because it is not just for audience, but you know, for the larger majority.
Just so you know, there's a lot of sabotage going on at the back end against you this morning. They don't even want to write your name.
He's looking like a fine boy.
They don't
we introduced him already. What are they writing a name for?
No, they don't understand the job.
They said, Nita says that, so forget her. Make it right.
I want to ask Ricky. You know, I'm sorry,
but can I do some clarity on the Sanubadu thing before we go?
Okay.
Yes.
Because I went to look for the post.
Yeah.
Because of information.
Please, production team, can you get videos from
last 2
years?
On
last
the
2 years on the performances.
On the 25th of
medical
April,
and all.
2022, Sonny posted on his IG, and I read, Ivory Coast, the Rain Man was here with a photo of him with the rain falling on him with his microphone, you know, holding the microphone and ministering, I assume. He says, Ivory Coast, the Rain Man was here. What a night. I enjoyed every bit of the rain. At Blacksherif, I have taken my title back. This was real rain. Sonny Badu. Then he puts all the hashtag there. So he says his own was real rain. Okay.
So clearly he actually
was
performing.
So
it was raining. Olele.
So
wake up.
Olele, since you are being in
your
Ghana, we said this one is a live performance in Ivory Coast, so it's not in Ghana. It didn't happen in Ghana. Olele, I'm asking you now. Since you are young and what? He actually tagged Blacksherif and said he's taking his title back, so he's the Rain Man.
Blacksherif would actually be the first Ghanaian artist to have a word from Sonny Badu. I think Sonny has a very interesting social media activity. When someone does something that is similar to what he's done before, he tends to tap into the trend. So I'm not really too surprised by that. But thanks for that information. Like Ricky said, this was actually produced for TV.
Right.
You know, for him, he went to perform in Ivory Coast,
and it rained.
The heavens opened and said, "You know what, my son, this is whom I am well pleased. Let down some rain." All right, and it's all great. But to do that for TV, plan and script that for TV, it's no small joke. You consider logistics, the equipment, and everything. You ask a very important question: the risk of being electrocuted, because of course I'm shocking.
It's interesting. The microphone actually went off at a point.
Yeah, it went off. Yeah, I realized he swapped the microphone. Yes, I always wanted to know the fate of that mic, whether it was.
That you asked earlier, he didn't answer.
He didn't answer that question.
He left it. So it's a cost that is still hanging somewhere for Frankie. Yeah, so we need to buy because it was produced specially for Blacksherif.
Come on.
Wow.
No, we have to appreciate it.
No, we have
you know, like I when I time I see that thing, I keep saying that it was daring. It was daring. It was we had pushed ourselves to a certain point because all those hazards, you know, and you had to create a stage that would drain the water, finish, clear the water from there, mop the stage, seamless show. Whilst on TV, I'm still watching and enjoying. Like, you know, we tried because I've seen some at BET where Beyonce requested for fire and water. So in the stage where she was performing, it was burning and it was raining.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Right. And when they finished,
and he didn't quench the fire.
No, and they cleared it. It was she and Kendrick Lamar, I think so. Was it Kendrick or Meek?
Yeah.
No, Kendrick.
Kendrick.
Yeah, Kendrick.
Wow.
And when she finished, they cleared the stage in time for the next performance to come.
Were you allowed, let me ask, because that was what I was going to ask about what happened last year. Were you allowed to film at any point with your phone? I'm going to ask this, that will it get to a point where you're not going to allow, because, you know, as you see it on TV, it looks seamless. But for those who were in the auditorium, they had the opportunity to show people, oh, he's moving from one stage to another. But on TV, he's not capturing that. So I'm going to get to the point.
People get the behind
exactly,
the scenes,
and then it looks nyamabi and doesn't look as beautiful as it looks on the screen. So is there going to be a point, Ricky, where people would be prevented from filming so they don't mar the beauty of what people are seeing on television?
Chappelle took their phones, right?
And nobody complained.
And nobody
complained. Till today. Not
today.
a tweet, not a Facebook, not a pundit. So
but
we are watching.
Ensure that happened.
You know the interesting thing that about that.
What do they call them? Stewards or what? They are
stewards,
standing in there. When you take your phone, or they come and they warn you, or if you are filming, they come and take your phone, or they sack you.
Even when you've paid.
Even at Chappelle's event, that's what they did.
They'll sack you nicely.
So, and I repeat, nobody complained.
You know, it's progress, it's growth, it's industry growth, and gradually we are getting there. So me, yes, I'm coming to that. You realize, yes.
So can we
of course,
implement that at the next awards?
It's very possible because, like I said, fortunately for us, certain people have come into our space to set the tone, and now to conscientize a lot of media people, and also especially because now we've begun to understand the concept of copyright or ownership of content. You know, now people are beginning to understand that, Charlie, even Culture Daily, to pick our content and put it on your platform, you know, various YouTube platforms, it's not allowed. So it is helping as much as possible. Back then, if you need your media team or a group of media people to support you, you need to create before you have to give them anywhere to sit. Then we got to the stage of where now you create a media booth or a media arena where you keep all your media personalities. I mean, all the photographers, the videographers, and all of that, because you don't want them loitering around and videoing guests who are sitting and all of that. We got there. Now we are getting to the stage of where you cannot be seen walking in front of the stage, because sometimes someone is performing, and that's actually one of the things that crippled Raquel's career.
Daddy Lumba was performing.
Raquel's career because
somebody was on the stage dashing him money, forcing the money on his forehead.
I tell you, he said, "Boss, what are they? Boss, are they?" The guy wanted to push the man off.
Because a similar incident happened to Raquel, if you remember. Why? Because media people were allowed to go closer to the stage, and because the stage was up while she was performing, someone was down there, you know, taking videos, and someone was down there
taking
so someone was down there working on
if you don't remember,
the Raquel story, you don't remember
he doesn't remember, so let me remind you.
We have Ricky here to tell us.
Exactly. He was down there.
He was not on 3Music platform, so he doesn't have the filler.
The person was down there working on cables. He did it down there, they fixed cables.
Wiring.
That he saw an opportunity.
Exactly.
Oh, that's terrible. That's very terrible.
Very bad. Yeah.
So moving into 2021, I think global, is it 2022? Yeah. Global Citizen taught us a lot by showing us that even though you are media, the content is actually owned, or the experience is created by a certain organization who wants total ownership of the content. So at Global Citizen, you could not film. I don't know how they did it, but anyone there, and you can ask anyone who was there at that point, you cannot even tweet or post any video material of the event. Anything that was media at the Global Citizen event was not working.
Only what they put out.
It's
a similar thing that BET does. They also make available
they have
photos.
Disruptors.
Photos and
from the networks.
Yeah, there are little devices you can plug in that jam up signals.
So
they have wired connections.
Yeah. So when you were there, I think you couldn't go.
You couldn't.
Charlie, I do real. I post them the next day.
You could actually tweet words, but you can't.
Yeah, you can tweet
media.
But you can't post pictures. So nobody ever
unless
saw.
You were out of that perimeter.
No, even if you were out, because I remember. It took a long time. Even after the
go
event.
reach like Osu before.
That's what I'm saying. Unless you're out of that perimeter, and that perimeter could be the Independence Square to the stadium,
cemetery
going there before your thing will go through.
Wow.
So I don't know whether it was intentional or just
it was, and that was what I was saying. It's time, because I remember Steve and us and the crew, because we had we are official partners. You know, we had media accreditation, giving backstage access to film a number of things. Interestingly, even the access that you've been given is to a certain limit. So that's what I'm saying is growth. Stip was frustrated, our whole team was frustrated that they're only allowing us to do just 30 seconds. Why are we here? And that. We were complaining. Why? Because where we did, in our jurisdiction, there's no restriction. Everything should be filmed.
All play all.
All play all. So we were expecting to film Charlie the dopest content, because a lot of people, Usher and his team were there and all of that. So we're expecting to get, very, very, very exceptional content. But they say if you take your phone, the highest amount you're allowed to film is 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, like he said, there are stewards who actually prevent you from filming. So we are getting there. At this stage, now, if 3Music Awards is coming this year and we say we are giving just, limited access to film, everybody will understand, because it's not like you do too know. But it's a culture you're actually introducing or building. It's the same thing with the costuming I was telling you about. Before, when you are having conversations with artists, there was no conversation of costuming. It's like, I'm paying you X amount, and what you go wear come the stage to be what you go take perform. But now artists are now demanding when you go, when you book them for like the glamorous events, like the award events and all of those things. One of the key conversations are costuming.
Hold right there. I think you had a question you wanted to ask him. But whilst you prepared that, we're going to be talking about the performances. We are going to roll back to about 2 years ago, when we had the Medical and the Chris Waddle and the remake of the songs Yao Talk. Yeah. And then we'll come down to some of the performances and experiences that we had in last year as well. So whilst that is being prepared,
so he was heavy on the production for TV and stuff like that. And I know last year, one of the things that almost marred the beauty of the production was the late start. It was ridiculously late. I mean, for an award scheme or an event that is looking to make a statement in all areas, we want to touch on why the delay. It was ridiculous. I mean, like, the show started around 11 p.m. This is after the pre-show had had finished or had been done, and we were left thirsty for more and everything. So if maybe you could take us behind the scenes and let people understand what goes into these things and why sometimes
about 5 hours, four.
And look, if not for the fact that it was
from around 8 p.m.
I remember very well. I was up to like 11, close to midnight before the show finally.
I'm surprised you didn't film anything to talk about that on your Twitter.
No, because I was not at the event. I was actually watching from a.
But maybe he had commentary.
I was watching from a fan's.
But he had commentary.
Was it 4 hours?
No, it could be.
It could be.
I don't remember the hours. All I know is it started around 11, 12.
Okay. 3+ hours. So it was about.
It's the longest wait.
Yeah, it was.
I'm surprised. I'm asking this because then
you were on heat, so you couldn't have been thinking of the hours. You guys were going around trying to figure out.
I'm blown away because it means industry really came out to support 3Music Awards.
Of course.
To have waited for that
PR
long,
is very strong.
I'm actually wondering what were they waiting for.
They couldn't have been Charlemagne on us.
I'm really asking myself, what were they waiting for? And I'm really proud of all of us because it means we have built something like that is.
And
like
people
something very valuable
to wait.
Yeah.
Exactly for 3-4 hours.
Celebrities stayed. I saw the likes of D Black was there, Becky Santana. They were all there. They were waiting.
And even the performers, they waited.
I don't know anyone, like you're saying. This actually comes to mind. I don't know anyone who came in there for the event and eventually said he or she, A-list or mainstream media or industry stakeholder who came in there and said because the show had not started, they left. Because I've heard several complaints of such issues from stakeholders. I'm not saying that that's a good practice, but I'm saying this means we may have built something very, very, very valuable. Because for 4 hours, for me, I was thinking like it was 2 hours.
No,
because I remember going backstage to engage Blacksherif severally. That he should calm down. We are going soon because he was super fired up. But after 30 minutes of not going on, then he began to, get frustrated. Now the energy began to go down. So because I was managing talents, I would have to go backstage and go and tell him, Charlie, guy, we'll go on in 10 minutes. And sincerely, that was what we were being told from production.
3Music has got magic when it comes to creating an on-stage experience. Lights, fashion, sense, the music, reproducing the music and all that. And this, for me, it started from 2 years ago when, during the peak of the COVID, if I can say that, during that time where we're still in the COVID and there's no social distancing, people keeping their girlfriends away from them and all those things. Foul. Yeah, we've come far, Charlie. Right now, people, they hug and things cry, so coming from that and creating the ideas, hey, how about we throw you back to 2 years ago when the likes of Yalto, Kofi Jamal, Chris Waddle, Medical and Co. had Mr. Drew, Kiddy, had to remake certain songs, re-perform their own songs, and give you this experience that most of us can't forget.
Big up 3Music Awards. El Chairmano. Yeah. MzGee, baby. Bo. Yeah. Flex. Swap. I'm a town in my beshi. You just sleep on the boy Teshi. Them try shoot me. Now one come in Odeshi. Why am I no? Me am a docono, me am a hono. Hey, Obini me flopia. Yo, me am a bono, bear my age name macho. Bow, no be today. I dey look for money like you be hide and seek with the play. Sweet like chicken fillet. Promoter name funny sick and no mugu go pay. You should not confirm me, Babaji pay. Yeah, dodgy traffic, we know the delay. We know the carry last. Yeah, barrier. This a Mary PK. Whoa. Now say emojis in Kwan, I no go talk plenty. If you say, me the my niggas to fight, maybe we the play MK. When I stay everywhere like if we went touch, your hustler for chop kenke. But me di mami La hustle, yes I la woo. One tower shika, Jenabu. Too much. Okay.
Let's go. Then be weak like 7 days. Fuck it, everybody wanna act two-faced. No petrol, you can be faster than car. When you swag, when you fella. Last boy, wait, talk bad about me. I try call and they say the number you have dark can never be rich. Medical day, but I'm still 666. You don't watch me anytime, boy, tick. Some major will get like anybody tick. You're gonna phone here, I'm la hustle and yes, I'll better come. Then promise you which I mind from you get chair mine or what can I mind. But you will block, I will go see some mine. Snapchat, the war, champagne, I want to talk. When you bet if Gucci wato, chama ya poso, tu ya hona boy si bro, kwe time uko, kona kopesika na mwede kasa mweni bete na me bensi bo, ya jisiko, yensu ya time aso. La osulo, nyesa la wu, wanta washika, jenabu.
Hustle. Same question. Tactics now, yanko. Mempe, bad energy, mempe. I told them so I'm in pet. She's an OG and I crept. About 100G for a concert. Come on, that P in my concert. Okay, the food in the corset. Up at the B and the offset. Hustle now, 5 men die. Me go for Bremy, pillow, name, pa, ebe. We all see the say soon. Oh, they make up me in the kwe nu. As it is out, oh, the asa, oh, bloom. But you know, the app, man, something right there, noon. Major, oh, girl, me pay. Yeah, cool, Mary. Yeah, Jumana man could keep on cussing. Yeah, move your direction, make me round and this way. Any means, anyhow, which ways? Quite be a soul for the rich way. La hustle, yes, I la woo, bow. Jimino, yes, I la woo, bow. La hustle, yes, I la woo. 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, ready to have some fun? This is a tribute to Osibisa. Sancho, are you ready? Let's go. Dance the body music. Makes me feel so happy. Makes me feel so happy. Dance the body music. Music makes me happy. Hear the music play. Feel your body sway. DJ say, oh, what a big smash. Dance the body music.
beats for you. Every time when I think of you, I don't know. I feel loved again. I don't want to wait for days. Let me have you in my arms again, please. When they all said I can't have you, I proved them wrong, I can for you. Any weather, any mood too. No more, you know I still come through, Give me love, yeah, forever, yeah. All the crest for you, yeah. My mind did for you, my heart beats for you. Every time when I think of you, I don't know why I feel loved again. I don't want to wait for days. Let me have you in my arms again, please. Good morning, my love. Oh my God, it's our wedding day. I'm so glad I found someone to hold till eternity. You don't own your man, I'm your tea. Honeymoon far away from here. All the crest for your love. Hey, my darling, I'm there for you. Pop the question and yes, I do. My melody should strike.
Where my G's, yeah. Music, what's up? Out here. Hey. Energy. Sprinda. Yo, 1, 2, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's sorry. Hey, yeah, that's sorry. Hey, yeah, that's sorry. Hey, yeah, that's sorry. Hey, yeah, that's sorry. Ice on my gang get cool. Boys near how they're cool. Step on set, one for that one, but they're joy cool. Mini big gang, Santa boys, we don't fear, we just do. Americans in the near, one bus in the near. Can't I'm buying about. Just when he meant that, hey. Can't I'm buying about. Just when he meant that, hey. Get on my foot, nigga provoke. Santa boys, how we got us to be bold. Nigga my gold, selling no show. Why Gia quit on my man, I'm a cold. Yeah, that's sorry. Hey, yeah, that's sorry. Hey, yeah, that's sorry. Hey, yeah, that's sorry. Yeah. 3Music. What's up? Hey. When I come with a sauce, no channel, my soul. Make it boil till we fall. Make it boil till we fall. When I come with a sauce, no channel, my soul. My swag, not chick. Now I'm getting from my chip. Say, yeah, my dear chick. See, we just wanna get it, we don't want no trouble. Amunya ya, kaya dane so ya tifu ya, ya, my dear chick. Mintin, unim se kosu, joy kosu. We just wanna get it, we don't want no trouble. Amunya ya, kaya dane so ya tifu. Hey, my brother, move to the top way harder. We the grind all day. Yeah, per se, get it bigger all night long. All night long, yeah.
And of course, 3Music always has a certain way of giving you a certain brilliant, beautiful, colorful experience when it comes to performances. We just took you back 2 years ago to watch some of the performances that happened at the 3Music Awards, and that brings me to a point I want to ask, Ricky, who's stepped in today to tell us more about the making of some of these things. I see a lot of play on, color, a lot of play on. It's like you are so determined to work outside the box. I know you've already spoken about how these artists take it, but do you sometimes feel like you've taken the artists out of maybe what they truly represent, and rather fitted them into a 3Music Awards? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Into a 3Music Awards direction.
Like, identity.
And how that conflicts with the artist's image, branding, and all.
Well, so this actually started from, and there's an interview with Adina, who clearly acknowledged the fact that she had never, because I think this was even 3 years ago, the COVID edition, I think. I don't really remember. But when we approached her to perform, and we actually showed her a script of every activity that she's supposed to do and how she's actually supposed to execute and what we are going to do with her songs, the reimagination of her songs and recreation of her songs, and
I like that reimagination of the song.
Who was supposed to be on at a certain point, because there was a song that she did that had, I think, Akwaba or someone on, or somebody else, but we had to replace, because not because the person was not available, but we wanted to reimagine or recreate a different sound using a different act. She actually acknowledged the fact that she's never seen anything like that. Like, you know, the usual conversation she always has with promoters or event people are, Charlie, we have an event and you are performing and come. But this one, she was taking through a whole structure, plan, script of what her performance was going to be like. And she said, reimagined. And at that point, she knew this was a brand to associate with. You know, so clearly you're right. We look at certain artists, we see or we try to identify certain elements of their craft or of their personality that will properly fit or suit the identity of the 3Music brand. And that's what we do. So with the ones that you just saw, the performance videos like this, clearly, you know, because of the direction, because of the concept, we knew the people we wanted to use. If you look at your favorites, the Dance About the Music, the Osibisa tribute like this, we knew the people who were going to give us that effect. Because if you had used, quote unquote, maybe older artists, it will be cliche because the song is a big song already. So if we wanted to introduce younger artists to create a certain effect, like, whoa, I never thought Mr. Drew can sing like this. I never thought Kiddy could sing like this. And then the introduction of Kofi Jama, it blew everybody away. Like, whoa, ideally you expect that proper mainstream rapper, maybe an Obrafour or a Reggie Rockstone or someone to do that rap performance. But we're like, nah.
Is it difficult to secure the permissions to do that to the songs, you know?
No, of course. Fortunately, because a lot of us also have an understanding of how music, copyrights, and clearances actually work, we go through the right processes. You know, Sadiq also is someone who is very strong or very vocal about copyright issues. So we know we had to directly or clearly go through the proper processes to clear and get the rights to.
Okay, so now let's move from 2021 and come to 2022. Let's start off with Ohima Mercy's performance at the 3Music Awards and Joe Metal.
Conference Center, the 5th Annual 3Music Awards 2022. More than music.
To the hills. Are you enjoying tonight? From whence cometh my help? My help comes from you, God. Yeah. Mama mi here no makwako jinle. Negba mi eli kapwa machaba. Mi eli kapwa moja Yehowa ngo. Moni bokwe keshibole ngo. Mawa miye no makwako jinle. Negba miye likabwa mwataba. Miye likabwa moja Yehowa ngo. Moni bokwe keshibole ngo. Yes, osane. Moni bo ohele ewo odoing. Na moni bo Israele. Ewo odoing the asang ewo biko. Hey, Yehowa aboy, boy, ala isheshe. Boy, kote komi mbae, kete benami, ke ashina no fe. Yo. My help comes from you, Jesus. Do I have some witnesses in the house? Yo, 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 yo. Hey. Everybody lift your voice when they say, yo, Kwame. Yo, Kwame. Yo, Kwame. Yo, Kwame. But you me and I'm coming. I tie yo, Kwame. Yo, Kwame.
My brother, you know, so. Me, when me behind me, crazy. In a name, me won't poo. Me, my food, you know me. Me, come on, Jehovah, you never let me down. I surrender all unto you. Oh, Frankie. Me, every vexing of me more. Hey, I am a blessed. Oh, my employer, me fear. And honor to you. Me, want you, me, be I pray you hustle. Yeah. Jesus, unto me more. Oh, give me my door. I have it. I have it. Jesus, unto me more. Are you here?
Live from the Grand Arena, Accra International Conference Center, the 5th Annual 3Music Awards 2022. More than music.
I've been out here looking for you for all day. See, I won't die. I just want to say, yeah. Oh, my head, today, maybe I know Peter. Maybe I know Peter. Oh, more waiting there. I say we can't friend. I know Peter. I believe I play defense. I won't comfort myself. Me, I vote for you. Baby, I vote for you. And I won't know no good no. Baby, I swear, I swear, I swear, I swear. Don't see me. Oh man, them so bad. Oh, can you never know say you conquer? Man, them so bad. Find your love, conquer. Man, them. Listen up. So me, me man, now me want them. So me, me man, now me want them. But I get you bugger me, take away champagne, now me want them. Yeah, I'm on the table. Tell me, no, Montreal, Sana, Kume, Pizza. Tell me, see your power. Montreal, Sana, Kume, Boko.
And wow, we just had to take you through that gospel lane. I love that performance by Joe Metal and Ohima Mercy, I beg your pardon. And and that song in particular is one of my favorite songs. I know I can't sing it word for word, but it's a beautiful classic. It's a classic
like
piece.
It's always like spirit filled when Jomet
Preach.
MzGee comes in, and then they do what they call that. When they pitch high, what's it called? You people who are doing music.
Falsetto.
Is that what it's called?
No, what do you call the part after soprano?
Oh, like the runs.
There's a part.
The riffs.
No.
Are you talking about the riffs or what?
I mean,
I've mentioned it for you.
Because it's not like falsetto or a riff or...
I mean, I don't know what people are talking about, but I'm talking about where the pitch, there's a harmony that comes when the two of them...
The melody.
Yeah, and then they raise their voice. I know when you're in choir practice...
Moderation.
Yeah.
No, I need that too.
Modulate.
Modulation.
If you wonder what I said,
modulate.
Play the video back.
Modulate.
Modulation, yeah.
Modulate. But let me just quickly ask Ricky. Ricky, last year you guys introduced a very interesting category, which was the fan army.
It wasn't introduced last year. It's been there. Maybe.
No, I mean it was one of the things that actually got people talking because of the fact that we don't really pay attention to some of the categories that the awards or award schemes actually offer. You know, you had something like fan army in there that was focusing on, and that Lumba fans.
Just 2 minutes ago, though.
Yeah, deal fans. I mean, I want to ask.
The board member is here. She can.
I want to ask, right? When it comes to that particular category, right? Is it the board or is the fans who vote for that?
Board member. I'm not a board member.
I want to ask.
I'm the board member.
Because there was a lot of controversy on that.
The
DL fans.
But who disputes how DL fans win a fan army
they said
of the
fan
year award?
Army of the year.
Yes, but
the DL fans are very powerful.
I know
very
it's active.
impactful. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not active. I know it's active, but you are looking at the year in review, right? And
you're looking at the fan army, not the works of the artists. You should separate the two.
Okay.
So you're looking at the fan army, how active they have been as a fan army,
in
not the
year?
artists. Yes, with the year within review. And if you
when
follow
you say
conversations,
active in what sense?
In their conversations and support for the artists, that's the year where again the Kojo Entry, Daddy Lumba conversation also sprang up again, and you see them on social media very loud. Any activity that involves Lumba, they're loud, and they started putting old songs of Lumba. Teaching us lyrics. So these are the activities.
No, but that's very debatable
around
because
the artists.
the SM fandom and then
they got nomination, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
It doesn't mean that you see when
so
you
that's
are
what I want to find out. Is it the fans that vote or
It's purely public.
Okay,
then that's public.
That's what I wanted to find out. I'm sorry.
It's purely
because people argue that Sarkodie and of course even the Beam Nation they all had close.
So they were nominated, but
they didn't make it.
Yeah, it's public voting.
Public voting, 100%.
Yeah, 100% public voting.
So it's up to them next year. This year.
Well, on that note, we bring our conversation this morning to a close. And thank you so much, Ricky, for being here with us. He'll be joining us, in subsequent days.
But I don't know why you guys complain a lot about, because it's easy when I'm here and you guys complain a lot about.
I'm surprised
because when you're speaking in our ears, you speak like you're.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he wants to hear
60
himself.
seconds.
I'm surprised he wants to hear himself in his ear.
Wrap up in 60 seconds. Wrap up in 60 seconds.
Cyril, you've been so nice.
For the show.
On that note, we're back here same time tomorrow for the last edition for this week. Before we jump into next weekend, we're inching closer to the big day of our 3 Music Awards. Ricky, thank you so much. Name is Jay and
Olele.
Yo, MzGee.
Ayo.
Fresh and cutie, you already know.
It's a Friday night, hooray tomorrow.
And way out. Have a
big cash my way, but still a family. And I want it, still I can't believe, but I can't blame myself for this shit. You man, that was born